So today we're going to be getting some experience with creating our own Google Chrome extension. And I can't think of a better example than to actually create our own simple little ad blocker. I actually came up with this idea because I was visiting websites like Forbes and the New York Times, and I was getting these pop-ups that were telling me to either whitelist the site on my ad blocker or subscribe to them. Like you can see, even if I lie and say I've turned off my ad blocker, it will just pop back up, and then I would actually have to go into AdBlock Plus and whitelist the site. So it really got me thinking, what can I do, and then how do these websites actually test for ad blockers? So I did a little bit of research into how the sites test for ad blockers, and we see that some of them are actually using the test elements on the page, and then they find out that if these elements are actually not rendered onto the page, then they know that an ad blocker is being used. So then I thought, I was looking at the network traffic on the resources coming from the page, and I realized that I could just create a simple blacklister for the known the major ad sites. And that is what I did in this. So in this, we really accomplished a simple ad blocker that takes out most of the ads and will also get you past these whitelisting notifications. So if you stay tuned, we will get right into it. So for the first step, just make sure you turn off AdBlock Plus. We're gonna be adding our own extension, so we don't want this to get in the way and mess with our results. So if you've never created a Chrome extension before, this one that I'm creating has three main elements: the manifest.json, and then the ckblock.javascript, and these are the two main. And then the blocked domains.js is just basically where I defined my blacklist. But so the manifest.json first, this is more of a template just to tell Chrome when it unpacks your extension, just what to expect. So just running through this real quickly, you have your basic definitions up here. You give it the permissions to review web requests and web request blocking, and then we allow this with these wildcards right here on the web requests that are going out. So the star is wildcard out to all of their web requests, and this is just to review them for these block domains. And then these scripts that are included in this package, just the block domains.javascript and ckblock. So now we're going to move on to the ckblock, and this is the finished product. But just as a test, we are going to just create a simple alert, and we will just say this is an alert. And now make sure that and I will include all of these, all the text you can just paste, but make sure you're not just pasting it right in. Make sure you're reviewing and understanding all the different components, because that's what we're doing here. We're learning. And if this is your first Chrome extension, this is definitely a good one to get your feet wet. But so just make sure that you have the different scripts so it knows what to reference. You can name these whatever you would like. And then we're going to go and save it, and we are going to go into Chrome, and we're going to load an unpacked extension, and then we'll find it, and we'll select this folder. And you can see, so the test worked. I always like to systematically go through things and test along the way, because I've found in all the different programming projects I've been a part of that if you don't test along the way and reach an error at the end, it's not fun to go back and figure out where your error was. So now that we know the unpacked extension worked correctly, and the JavaScript, so manifest.json is pointing towards the JavaScript, and that is working. So now we will actually go about adding our script into this. So now, after you have confirmed that everything works, we will go back to our main JavaScript. In this case, mine is called ckblock.js, and we will be adding these short bit of code that I have included in the description. And this is your basic ad block functionality, and it references the other script that I have mentioned, so the blockdomains.js. I'll include this basic list of just the 5 domains, but the real big one that you will actually find, so a lot of the I've been looking at a lot of the ad traffic, and a lot of it is to doubleclick.net. So just by adding that one domain, and also on the sides of these, like I mentioned before, these are the wildcard characters. This basically means that because the URLs can change a lot, so we're just leaving it open as long as it contains this doubleclick.net in there. No matter what is on either side of that, it will hit and block that. So it is saying that this is adding a listener, and then it is logging this to the console. So when we actually go into the console, we can see that the URL is being blocked, and then this cancel.true is the actual functionality, so it will be canceled before it returns back to the web page. And then, like I said before, we're just referencing that. So we will save that. Make sure you go back to your Chrome, and we had already added this to our Chrome, so we're just going to refresh that. And let's see if the ad blocker actually worked on Forbes' site and did not get picked up by their detection. And there we go. So it doesn't have the full functionality that AdBlock Plus will have. So it won't get rid of the elements completely, but you won't be seeing ads. So sometimes you'll be seeing like a square area where there would be an ad, but you're not actually having to deal with that. So like you can see right here in the promoted field, AdBlock Plus may make it a little bit more pretty, but this is the part that actually gets picked up on the detection. So we can see here that this website that I have used for an example uses some sort of element detection, and somewhere in their code they probably have some frame that if it doesn't get rendered, then the website will know that there's an ad blocker being used, and it'll ask to get whitelisted. That's it. It's really that simple. So if you really want, you can go along and you can add more domains to this block domain list. Listen, I'm just going to do a little experiment and we will see this actually in live action. So we're going to be going to the network traffic, and we are going to make sure that we are recording a network log, and then we're going to refresh the page, and you can actually see as we go. So you can see that these were blocked. If you go in further, you'll actually see that it'll say blocked by client right here. And so that basically shows us that these elements were not rendered on the final page. So after making this video, I actually came across a really simple ad block test site that someone had created, and right here they actually tell you what their way of detecting an ad blocker is. And as you can see, they wrap an ad banner in a div and check its height, and then basically if this returns a height of 0, they know that this ad element or the fake ad element that they have created is not being displayed. So that's what they're doing. Right now I'm running AdBlock Plus, so just for demonstration purposes, you can see that I'm running it there. It's detected. I'll refresh it again for you guys. And then, so I will turn off AdBlock Plus. I'll run it again, not using AdBlock. And then you can see I'll turn my extension back on, refresh it just to be sure. And then we'll run it again. There we go. So as you can see, it's not the smartest ad blocker, but by not being smart and not removing these elements and just actually focusing on the ad block domains and the subdomains, it actually beats the detection because it doesn't do anything with checking the elements on the actual page. It doesn't remove the elements on the page. So I just thought I would include this at the end of the video for a great demonstration, and someone actually had created this disabled ad block site. So if you guys like this video and you would like to see me continue this project, maybe make it a little bit more advanced, see where we can go with it, please let me know in the comments section. I really enjoy little projects like this, and I'm always looking into things further and always thinking about what I can add of value to my YouTube audience. So just let me know down in the comments, and please like, comment, rate, and subscribe this video.